everyone, it's Tara. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here with my December TBR. Thanksgiving's done, December's right around the corner, and I'm really excited to get into like the holiday spirit. I set up a little bitty Christmas tree. We're in a new spot in my office for filming so that I could have my Christmas tree out. I have a cup of hot chocolate here, which you can barely see. I'm excited for Christmas, for December, all of that jazz. So, December is going to be quite an ambitious month. People just kept announcing readathons, and I was like, I have to participate in this. So, I am participating in 4 readathons, and I'm pretty sure I'm at capacity. So, I was trying to figure out the best way to go about filming all of the TBRs for all the different readathons that I'm planning on participating in. And I decided that the best thing for me to do, because I'm using one book for like multiple prompts across the 4 readathons, was I'm just going to do one video for everything, lump it all together so that my videos weren't just like super repetitive. Because if I was to film a video for every TBR, you'd be seeing the same books like over and over again. So, one video, 4 readathons. Yeah. So the first thing I want to do is just tell you what readathons I am planning on participating in. And I'll leave links to everything down below, announcement videos, all that jazz, so you have all that information. So first up, I will be participating in the 'Tis the Season-a-thon. That is hosted by Heather at Bookables, and there's a couple other hosts, or maybe just one other host, I don't remember. But that is a week-long readathon happening November 30th through December 6th, I think would be the dates. I know it starts on the 30th. Then we have the Create Your Own Holiday Adventure, which is hosted by Tia and All the Books, Chloe at Always Booked, Sarah at The Bookish Knitter, and Bree at Falling for Romance on Instagram. That runs December 1st through December 25th. Then I will be participating in Cloak and Dagger Christmas, which is hosted by Kate Howe, and I know that there's other hosts for that. And I don't know if that's a month-long readathon or if it just runs December 1st through 25th as well. And then finally, we have the Reindeer Readathon, which is hosted by Eric at Break Even Books. I participated in this last year, and it was just so much fun, and so I was really excited that Eric decided to do it again. I am on Team Nutcracker for that again, so go Team Nutcracker. And that is a month-long readathon as well, so the entire month of December. So those are the 4 readathons that I am participating in. Where I can, I'm doubling up, like using books for multiple prompts across the 4 readathons. Where I can, I'm using the same book for multiple prompts within the same readathon. The only one that I think you can't double up, well, I don't think you can double up on the Create Your Own Holiday Adventure, but like if you just choose one of the paths that there are, it's only 4 books, so that's not like that big of a deal. But the only readathon that I know for sure you cannot double up books on is the Reindeer Readathon. So it's 1 book per prompt. But yeah, we're going to see how this goes. I don't know. It's either going to go like really, really well, and December is going to be an awesome reading month for me, or it's going to fail miserably. First up, I am going to choose from my TBR glasses. I normally do that at the end, but I'm going to do it at the beginning this month because I'm going to try and see if I can fit these books onto some prompts. So I'm going to draw from my glasses and then like pause this, go over all my prompts, and then come back. So let's do that first. So first up, we'll do this one. Let's see. We'll choose this right here, which is, A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik, which should be like right here somewhere. Yeah. right here. This was a book of the month pick for me from October, I think. So that's going somewhere. All right, and now for this glass here. I just dropped two. They're staying on the floor. Let's go with this one, which is, oh dear, okay. Actually, oh no, this isn't bad. I have the first book. Okay, so this is the Coffee House Mystery Series, which, let me go grab the first book in that. All right, so the first book is On What Grounds. This is by Cleo Coyle. This was a series that I wanted to try, like a cozy mystery series that I wanted to try. Highly recommended by Courtney at Courtagonist. So this should be, actually, I know I should be able to fit this in, at least in Cloak and Dagger Christmas. So this is going on my TBR as well. So I'm going to pause this video, kind of reconfigure my TBR with these books into consideration, and be right back with the rest of my TBR. Okay, that took way longer than I expected, but I think I've got myself all organized. I did realize a couple of things I do want to mention about a couple of the readathons. First, the Cloak and Dagger Christmas, it's based off the board game Clue or Cluedo, depending on where you are. And so there's a prompt for every room on the board. So that's really fun. Clue's one of my favorite board games. It's an amazing movie. If you've never watched it, watch it. So each prompt is centered around one of the rooms on the Clue board, and they're really fun sounding. Real excited about that. For the Create Your Own Holiday Adventure, there are 4 different paths you could take. I chose which one did I choose? Holiday Romance path. But if I happen to get through all of these books, I might try and do another path. But I chose the Holiday Romance path for that. Is there anything else I need to mention? I don't think so. Hopefully not. So we are just going to hop into these books. So I'm going to go through the books that I'm only using for one readathon first, and then we'll go into the ones that I'm using for multiples. So, let's do this. I'm going to be referring to my notebooks. If you see me looking down, that's why. So first up, for On What Grounds by Cleo Coyle, I am going to be using this for the Cloak and Dagger Christmas prompt for kitchen, which is to read a food-based mystery. There is food recipes in the back of this, so I'm assuming there's at least some type of food element. It's set in a coffee shop, which tends to have some type of baked goods. Hopefully it works. If not, there's other prompts I could use it for, but I'm officially posting this in my TBR as the kitchen prompt for Cloak and Dagger Christmas. Then A Deadly Education, I am going to use for the Reindeer Readathon prompt. I don't remember which reindeer it's associated with. I didn't write that down. I'll put all of that down here or somewhere on the screen. But the prompt has some type of struggle, and that could have been a battle, a war, an internal struggle. It sounds like there's going to be some type of struggle in this. I don't know, some battle of good and evil or something. I don't know. It sounds like there might be some type of struggle. Again, I have other books I can use for that prompt if I need to, but hopefully this just fits it. All right, so other books I am reading that I'm only using for one readathon. We have Murder Knocks Twice by Susanna Calkins. I am using this for Cloak and Dagger Christmas. The prompt it's for the lounge prompt, which is to read a book set in the golden age of mysteries, which is the 1920s or 1930s. This is set in a 1920s Chicago speakeasy. So I'm hoping it's really good. I love cozy mysteries, and this, I mean, 1920s Chicago sounds like a fun time, so hopefully this is good. Then we have Little Women, which I am going to be reading with my mom, my two sisters, my sister-in-law, and I think my nieces are going to try and read this as well. So we're doing like a family read-along. I'm going to be using this for the Reindeer Readathon prompt for Vixen, I believe is the reindeer for this prompt, which is a strong female lead. It's a little bit less points for me using the strong female lead prompt for Vixen, but I couldn't find another book that fit the prompt that's more, which is to read a book with a fox on the cover. And I really wanted to and need to read Little Women. So Jo, well, all of the little women in this book are strong female characters, but Jo is who I consider to be the lead, and she is like super strong, super independent. So I'm using her and this book for that prompt. All right, then we have In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. I am using this only for the Tis the Season-a-thon, but I'm using it for multiple prompts within the Tis the Season-a-thon, and those are, let me make sure I get them all, to read a holiday-themed book, to read a book with lights on the cover, and then it's also the group read for the readathon. So I'm really excited about this. I've enjoyed the Christina Lauren that I've read. All right, then we have Half a War by Jo Abercrombie. I am going to be using this for the Reindeer Readathon, the prompt for Rudolph, which is a main character who doesn't fit in. I'm operating under assumptions here because the other two books in this series, the first and second book in the series, the main characters for each of those books were kind of like outcasts. They each had some type of like either like physical attribute or like something in their personality that kind of made them like be an outcast or not fit in. And so I'm assuming that this book is going to as well. It also has both of those other two characters in them. And this book has the characters from the first two books that don't fit in. So I'm kind of assuming that this book is going to follow that same trend of the main character has something that makes them like not fit in. So hopefully that's the case. Then also for the Reindeer Readathon, I will be reading Memorial by Brian Washington. I'm using this for, I believe it's the Blitzen prompt. Is it? I don't remember. Again, I'll put the reindeer that it's associated with on the screen somewhere, but it's the prompt to read a book with a one-word title. The last book that I am only using for one readathon is The Light of All That Falls by James Islington. I am using this for the prompt to read a book that you find intimidating. This book, this trilogy has intimidated me, A, because of the size of them all. They're all like between like 600 and 800 pages. This one's 814 pages. But high fantasy is something that I just find intimidating. It's hard for me to follow. Like it just takes me longer to read. And so that's intimidating to me. And then the size is there, it's huge. So I'm also going to be using this for the Christmas Star bonus for the Reindeer Readathon, which you pair with one of the other prompts, which is to read a book over 500 pages. This is, like I said, 814 pages. So I'll be listening to the audiobook with John. And luckily I'm doing this with John because I get so lost and I need him to help me follow along. So yeah. So now comes the rest of the books that I have here, which I'm going to be using for multiple prompts across multiple readathons. So first up, we have Winter Street by Ellen Hildebrand. I'm actually going to be buddy reading this with Linda at Linda's World of Books. And I think we're starting it sometime like pretty soon. I have to double check with her on when exactly. But I'm going to be using this for the Reindeer Readathon, the prompt for a genre that you love. I mean, Ellen Hildebrand's an author that I love. She writes in a genre that I love, which is like contemporary I mean, her books tend to like have a romantic element in them. I don't like necessarily classify them as a romance, but she's an author that I love. She writes contemporaries. It's kind of holiday themed, which is another thing I love, so I'm using it for that. And then I'm also using this for the Create Your Own Holiday Adventure prompt to read a book that I would gift. I love Ellen Hildebrand, as I just said, and I would gift this book to like my sisters, my mom, anybody that has similar reading tastes to me, because I think anybody that has a similar reading taste to me would love her books. So that's what I'm gonna do. Then we have 10 Dead Comedians by Fred Van Lente, maybe. What am I using this for? Oh, I am using this for the Cloak and Dagger Christmas. I'm using this for the dining room prompt, which is to read a closed circle mystery, which basically is like there's a limited amount of people that could be committing the crime or whatever. And this is set like in a basically like on an island or in a house where these like comedians are dying, and so there's a very limited number of people on this like remote island that the house is located in. So I'm using that for that prompt. I'm also using it for the ballroom prompt, which is a book with a party in it, which I think there's some type of party element in this. I don't know for sure. We'll find out. And then I'm also using this for the Reindeer Readathon prompt to read a book with a map, because there's maps in it, or at least a map in it. So there's that. Then we have Fatal Inheritance by Rachel, is it Rice? I don't know. I'm using this for the Cloak and Dagger Christmas Conservatory prompt, which is to read a book with like nature, travel, or a warm climate. This is set in an enchanting villa overlooking the Mediterranean Sea. It looks like it has a warm climate in it. It says Alone in Paradise. That to me says warm. And so I'm also using this for the Create Your Own Holiday Adventure prompt to read a book with a warm setting. We have Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. I'm going to be using this for the Create Your Own Holiday Adventure, which is to read a book I meant to read last year. This was on at least one TBR last year. It was probably on a TBR this year. Yeah. And then for Cloak and Dagger Christmas, I'm going to be using this for the haul prompt, which is to read like a entry into a new subgenre, a new author, or a new series. I've never read Agatha Christie, so that counts for a new author. Then we have Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. I am using this for a few. Let me find my notes. Oh, okay. So for the 'Tis the Season-a-thon, I'm going to be using this for a book I meant to get to this year. This was one of my like most anticipated books of 2020. I still haven't read it yet. And then I also want to be using this for the Diverse book. I mean, the main characters are from the Dominican Republic. Elizabeth Acevedo is a Black author. And then for the Reindeer Readathon, I'm using this for the prompt Something Hidden Inside. And like what Eric had said when he said something hidden inside is like, you know, maybe there's like something hidden under the dust jacket, or there's like art in the pages somewhere. I'm going with something hidden underneath the dust jacket, because look at this. Like, all of her books, I believe, are like super pretty, like under the dust jacket. The only other book I own by her is a Book of the Month edition, so I don't have the cool dust jacket, or the cool underneath the dust jacket for that, but I thought that was really cool. So next we have probably the two books that I'm the most excited about. I got both of them in November. Super excited about both of these. Cannot wait to get to both of them. So first we have Without a Brew by Ellie Alexander. I'm going to be using this for the Reindeer Readathon prompt to read a companion novel or a sequel. This is book 4 in the Sloane Krause mystery series. I'm so excited to get to this. Super, super excited. Cannot wait. Probably going to be one of the first books I read this month. And then I'm also using this for Cloak and Dagger Christmas, the prompt for Billiard Room, which was to either read a book that has like a sport or game element, or to read the next numbered book in a series, or like the next book in a series. So I'm using that for this as well. Although I think that I saw that, oh yeah, there's winter games of all varieties also in here. So I mean, I could use it as like the game element as well, but really excited about this. And then the last book, and again, super excited, is The Mulnar Stars by Sarah Fox. This is the 3rd book in the Literary Pub mystery series. I am using this for, what all am I using this for? 'Tis the Season-a-thon. This is going to be my cozy read because it's a cozy mystery. For Create Your Own Holiday Adventure, I'm going to use this for a book from my wish list because, I mean, it was on my wish list until I just decided to pre-order it and make sure it got here. So I'm making that count. And then for the Cloak and Dagger Christmas, I am using this for 2 prompts. The first prompt being the study, which the prompt for the study was to read a book that's like about like your career or profession or what you studied in school, or something that you would want to have like studied in school or do. And so I'm kind of going with that element. Let me read the exact prompt. Associated with your profession, what you studied in college, or a field you want to learn more about. And the main character in this, she owns a literary themed pub. Hence why it's called the Literary Pub Mystery Series. That is like my dream job. I want to own a wine bar bookstore. That is what I want to do. So I'm assuming that this will count for that. And then I'm also going to be using this for the library prompt for Cloak and Dagger Christmas, which is to read a book that like references books or that you check out from the library. I mean, this book, first of all, the title is The Mulnar Stars, which is a play on The Fault in Our Stars. So just the title alone references another book. But like I just said, she has a literary themed pub. So all of like her drinks, like her specialty cocktails and like all of the food that she serves in this like pub is like a play on other books. So yeah, I'm just going with it. I'm making it count. So that will be read again, probably this first week of December. So assuming that I didn't leave off any prompts for any of these readathons, that is my December TBR. It's like, what is that, 15 books on my TBR? We'll see how this goes. Luckily, I think like a lot of these will be like really quick reads. Like there's a lot of cozy mysteries, which I tend to read really quickly, or like books that I'm really excited about. So hopefully all goes well. We'll see. I will be vlogging like throughout the month, so we'll be able to check on my progress. Anyways, let me know down below if you're participating in any of these readathons. If you're participating in other readathons, let me know that as well. If you're participating in the Reindeer Readathon, what team are you on? If you're participating in the Create Your Own Holiday Adventure, what path did you choose? Just let me know what your December reading plans are. That is it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy reading. Bye!